Okay, ladies and gentlemen, out on the water now, our 1962 Notre Dame. We talked a lot about this boat this morning. This is a beautiful hydroplane, the powder blue and white with the very distinctive green shamrock on the tail. Away from the dock also, right in front of those fans over there on the west side of the pit area, getting a good look at the 1957 Miss Wahoo. A boat that was so very, very famous here on Lake Washington with Mira Slovak behind the wheel. This boat, after an accident here in Seattle in 1960, came back and had a very successful and dark career, if you will. This boat kind of saw the good and the bad of hydroplane racing, but it clearly was one of the very fastest hydroplanes to come off the drawing board of Ted Jones, for whom our race course is named. 1962 Notre Dame, 1957 Miss Wahoo, expecting it to get very loud on the west side of the pit area here momentarily, expecting the 1979 Squire Shop and the 1973 Pay and Pack. I see a big puff of smoke over there. I hear the sound. That sounds like Pay and Pack, the U-25. Corey, I think we talked about this boat on Friday. Not sure if you were on the pipes with me when that went down, and I know this probably predates you a little bit. But a little story I like to tell about this boat was in 1973. I mentioned the boat was a little loud.
Yeah.
It does sound out, and that is why, and kids, that's why they used to call them thunderboats, because they make a lot of noise. But in 1973, when that boat hit the water for the very first time, it was very revolutionary. It was made out of hexyl honeycomb aluminum. It was a new material. The boat had a wider afterplane. It had a deeper tunnel. It had, obviously, the deep pickle fork. And, of course, it had the very visible horizontal stabilizer. It was a lot of new stuff thrown in the water at the same time. And everybody was pretty concerned about it. And back in the day, as it still is today, when you put a brand new boat in the water, you never quite know what you're going to get. You're going to have to work the bugs out of it. Well, in 1973, the season opened at Miami's Marine Stadium down in Miami. Bill Munsey held the course qualifying record down there at 112 miles an hour. Well, they lifted this thing off the trailer, the 73 Pay and Pack, dropped it into the bay down there, and Mickey Riemann was behind the wheel, and his first lap was just a tick under 120. And every head in the place turned. They went, uh-oh, maybe this thing will work. It turned out to be an extremely competitive season in 1973, and this boat was front and center in the 1973 Seafair Trophy race here, which I always claim was the greatest hydroplane race nobody ever saw. It poured down rain that day. You never could see the floating bridge up there. We were running the big 3-mile race course. Couldn't see the backstretch during their first heat. You could hear them, you couldn't see them. Mickey Riemann and Dean Chenoweth went side by side for 5 laps. It was awesome. And that's the story I had for you this time. There you go.
8 miles an hour over the record.
Yeah.
Out of the box.
Out of the box.
Well, they did something right.
They did something right. That would have been Ron Jones. Wahoo on the inside, Notre Dame in the middle, and the Pan Pack on the far outside. Just something about that sound. Those of us of a certain vintage, we grew up with that. That's my boat racing childhood right there.
It's not a bad sound. I like the sound of the old motors. It's a great something to hear, but I do like the turbine. That's my generation.
Absolutely, and I've grown to like the turbine as well. But this one's always going to be special. Unfortunately, we're not going to see our 1979 Squire Shop. They were unable to get away from the pit area. They're about 200 feet off the Finger Pier on the west side of the pit area, and they are getting a tow that will take that boat back. Tough break for those guys. I know they very much wanted to put on a good show and run side by side with the Pan Pack here. And we can see the Pan Pack now pulling out in front of those 2 shovel nose hydroplanes.
They definitely should check the quill.
Check the quills. There we go. That quill shaft. There we go. Pan Pack opening it up a little bit. Kind of getting on it there. That looked pretty good.
Bring that thing up to speed. Let the Seattle people see this thing go.
In 1974, Corey, that was the only year, with all of our years of hydroplane racing here on Lake Washington, 1974 was the only year we didn't race here. We actually raced up at the north end of the lake off of what was then the Sandpoint Naval Air Station, now Magnuson Park. And it was the 1974 Gold Cup, the race you know a little bit about. We ran the final heat that day at about 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. You talk about a late afternoon sun. It was really something. And George Henley piloted the Pan Pack to victory in the winner-take-all final over Howie Benz in the Miss Budweiser. That was a race I'll never forget. And then the next year, so 73 was a race nobody ever saw. 74 was one I won't ever forget. And in 75, we were back down here, and we've been here ever since.
8 o'clock's dang near past my bedtime.
It was past mine.
Yeah.
So let's see. I do not know who is behind the wheel of the Pan Pack. See if he doesn't open it up one more time. He kind of had it honking coming down here last time. Kick that rooster tail up. Give a little shout out here to a friend of mine, Mary Henley. Mary, if you're here within an earshot, the Pan Pack looks fabulous up the backstretch. It was Mary's husband, George, Smiling George from Eatonville, Washington. The late George Henley drove that boat so very, very well. Won that Gold Cup in 1974. Came back in the Tri-Cities the following year, did it again. Couple Gold Cups. Meanwhile, our 62 Notre Dame boat was campaigned by Shirley Mendelson McDonald, continuing the legacy of her father, Herb Mendelson, and Bill Boeing Jr.'s Miss Wahoo. Now, this is where we find out if you were paying attention, Corey. I mentioned somewhere along the way over the weekend that boat, the Wahoo, was owned by Bill Boeing Jr. Do you know why the boat was called Wahoo, or where that name came from? Putting you on the spot, bud.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
His wife was from Wahoo, Nebraska.
I do remember that.
There
now.
you go. And there was a horse down at Long Acres that Bill Boeing ran called Wahoo Wahoo.
Yeah. I remember that now.
There you go. And that's how Miroslav became the driver for the Wahoo. He was Bill Boeing's airplane pilot. And then at that time, everybody in Seattle was either building a hydroplane or thinking about building a hydroplane. Bill Boeing was no different. And he put the Wahoo together, put Miroslav behind the wheel, and the rest is kind of history.
And we're looking at it.
We are looking at it. It looks very good. I think all our boats are in the water. I got a hunch we're probably getting pretty close to a countdown. I'm going to step away from the microphone for just a moment. I will be right back, and it will be time to go racing for the 2022 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. It is time to crown a Lake Washington champion. Stand by.
Yeah. Boy, did I use that a bunch in high school, college, because I took physics for a couple of years. Started out as a bad It's right there. It's right there. It should hit you right there. Remember at WSU?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had our countdown to 5 minutes to the 5-minute gun. In fact, we are inside 5 to the 5. Corey Peabody, 9 minutes and 20 seconds until the start of the winner-take-all final heat at the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. HomeStreet Bank. HomeStreet Bank is proud to sponsor this year's Seafair Weekend Festival, rated one of America's best small banks by Newsweek. HomeStreet is a full-service bank dedicated to friendly service and giving back to their communities. HomeStreet Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Boeing has been a Seafair partner since this iconic festival and its signature hydroplane races began more than 70 years ago. Boeing is committed to reinvesting in the Puget Sound community through charitable giving, partnerships, and sponsorships like the one with Seafair. And a thank you to Barnhart Crane for their continued support of Seafair. One last time, Corey Peabody, I know you can appreciate this. It's time to thank one more time all of the hundreds of volunteers for their help in putting on the HomeStreet Bank Cup and the Boeing Seafair Air Show. Without the tireless efforts and countless hours put in throughout the year by our volunteers, none of these exciting events could happen. Take a minute, say thanks to any of the Seafair volunteers you see today, and therefore, Corey, thank you for all your help. You're a volunteer.
I appreciate it. It's been a great time for me. It's been a real treat to be up here with you and working with you and Kay and everyone here. So maybe one day we'll do it again, but next time I'm going to be driving a boat.
And that's where you need to be, and that's where we want you to be. As much as I've enjoyed having you up here, I don't want to see you up here anymore. I want you down there inside your boat. Coming up on 7 minutes and 40 seconds. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to the start of the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Clock just ticking down. Everybody's in the boat. One last conversation on the radio with your crew chief, your radio guy. A couple of deep breaths. Review those timing marks, I assume.
Yep, I'd be sitting there with my eyes closed right now, and the guys would be talking to me, and I'd just be sitting and thinking about what I was going to do, make sure I hit my marks, and just seeing it. If I see somebody cutting the course, if I'm gonna cut, or what I'm gonna do. It's just a time to mentally get focused and prepared for what's about to happen. Because these 5-lap races, they're very hard on you, hard on the body, and you come out of that boat, you're exhausted.
I got a hunch that 5 laps goes very quick for those of us sitting up here, but for you, it seems like it's a marathon.
It feels like you're out there for a long time, but I mean, it's so violent in the boats. You're getting shook up pretty hard when you're in those corners, and when you're done and you go past that start finish, you take a deep breath, and then all the heat from how warm it is inside the cockpit hits you, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's over, and you just start breathing and start driving into the pits. And if you're the winner, the emotion starts taking over, and you cannot even express to people how good it feels to get that win for your team. But I think we're going to see some really good speeds here today. I think we're going to see some really good racing, and I'm looking forward to what these guys do, and we're going to see it here in a couple minutes.
Couple minutes. We're going to have boats on the water in 1 minute, 2 seconds, 1 mark. 1 to the 5, 1 to the 5. So it won't be long now, 45 seconds until our H1 Unlimited's 5 boats will come out on the race course. We'll go 5 times around the Ted Jones 2-mile race course. It is a winner-take-all final heat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been racing hydroplanes on Lake Washington since 1951. It is a Seattle summer tradition, and that tradition continues today, some 71 years later. It is time now to crown a 2022 Lake Washington champion. It is the 2022 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, Seattle. Buckle up. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Gentlemen, that's your 5-minute gun, and it's now time to go boat racing. Here's who we'll see racing in the final heat, presented for Seafair by HomeStreet Bank.
Out first on the backstretch right now, you'll see Jamie Nielsen driving the old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Behind him, you'll see the U9 Boitano Homes, driven by J. Michael Kelly. Both of them just cut the course. Then following them, you have Jeff Bernard driving the Miss Goodman Real Estate, and then to top it all off, you have the beautiful orange boat, the U40 Miss Beacon Plumbing, driven by Dave Vilwalk.
Seafair thanks HomeStreet Bank, proud sponsor of the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. The start of the final heat is just a few moments away, and Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and for the safety of those around you, everyone must now be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. Now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats, the H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. The final heat is presented for Seafair by HomeStreet Bank. Corey Peabody, 3:30 to the start. I've seen a lot of boats in the middle of the race course.
I see a lot of boats, and they did kind of exactly what I thought they were going to do. They were going to come out, go around the first turn, go up the backstretch, cut the course, and then come down and pick up this this exit of 1 at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and that's just what they did. So now they're on the backside. Jeff Bernard's cutting the course right now. He's looking to get in front of Jamie and J. Michael. Those guys are getting close. So Jeff Bernard just cut the course. That's going to be a close call with the referee because there's some encroachment there, but we're going to see how the referee calls that.
Coming down the front straightaway with inside 3 minutes, coming down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Dave Villwock sitting right now on lane number 1, but lots of time still remaining. Lane number 2 looks like it's Jeff Bernard and the Goodman Real Estate. Then it's the U11, the old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Jamie Nielsen, not quite sure where he would slot from there. On the outside is J. Michael Kelly in the Boitano Homes. Following the field and trailing the field into the lower end of the race course is that U1 Miss HomeStreet with Jimmy Shane. 2 minutes and 25 seconds, Corey.
These guys are getting a little excited. They should be at Jimmy's in the best spot, if you ask me. It should have been about a 2:22 exit on that right there. So they're a little early. I think Dave's sucking them up, but you never know. They can cut the course and then cut the course and be back on some marks. But right now, if I was those guys, I'd be slowing down. Jimmy's in a prime spot.
2 minutes and 7 seconds to the start. 4 of our 5 boats are entering the top end of the race course. They will come down across the start-finish line, and if they don't cut, they will come all the way down to the bottom end, and then the next time across, we will be racing for the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Inside 2 minutes now, 150 to the start. Dave Villwock still hugging the buoy row. Up going it. Jamie go inside. He started to. He hooked a little bit to the left or misjudged where that exit pin was, but he was able to straighten it out. He didn't hit anything. I'm sure he's legal.
Well, going slow like that, the boats pull themselves around, so it's not easy to go 80 miles an hour. So there's some slop in there. Look at those boats are bunched up together. This is going to be a tough final. These guys are going to be brutal on each other out here. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Look at Jamie Nielsen. He's just staying just behind, and right now he is inside of Dave Villwock. Villwock's in 2. Nielsen's in 1. Villwock in 2. It is Jeff Bernard in 3. J. Michael Kelly on the outside in the 9. And then coming up behind everybody is Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet. The question for the HomeStreet, he may have the best timing, but where's he going to stuff it, Corey?
He doesn't need to stuff it anywhere. These guys are early, the way I see it. They should have exited that corner at exit of 1 at 55 seconds, and they're just too early. I think Dave's got these guys scared, and they're running right behind him. He's sucking them up. Jimmy is in the best spot out of any boat out there right now, in my opinion.
No, that's fine. And so Jimmy's going to continue to chase them all up to the top end, but he's not trying to come hard. He likes where he is, I think, as well. And it looks like Nielsen has been forced out of lane 1. In fact, it looks like Nielsen may have been pushed out to lane number 3. Still looking at 20-plus seconds. Now 20 seconds as Dave Villwock gets to the exit pin. He will start down. Then it's the Goodman Real Estate. Then it's Jamie Nielsen in 3. Then it is J. Michael Kelly. And on the outside, it is Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet. Inside 10 seconds now to the start. We are coming up on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark and Corey Peabody, you called it. Jimmy Shane's got all the boat speed. He's way on the outside, but he's got a car on the boat speed. He's also got J. Michael Kelly just off to his left on the inside, but it is Shane down here first. The start, Corey, is under review.
Jimmy Shane is rolling that boat up that backstretch right now. He is playing down a lap, and he's making a statement right now. He's got J. Michael Kelly on his inside and Dave Villwock on his inside, but Jimmy Shane is starting to walk away on this race right now. We're going to see what it comes when it comes to this entrance pin here at the turn 2. If these guys are going to leave any room, but this is going to be a great turn right here.
And remember, fans, we go 5 times around. They're coming down to put 1 in the books with 4 more to go. It is Jimmy Shane driving the U1, the Miss HomeStreet, driving a great big race course, but showing just an incredible amount of speed. 1 in the books. It is all HomeStreet down the front straightaway. We got a great race going for second place between J. Michael Kelly in the Boitano Homes and the Beacon Plumbing with Dave Villwock. We have a 1-lap penalty on the U40 for jumping the start, Corey.
Yeah, he was up there early. They were all early, so they were going slow. And Jimmy Shane hit that start with a ton of steam. So, I mean, it's showing. When that thing's going, it's going to go. And Jimmy is walking away from the U9 right now. But Jeff Bernard's still hanging in there, and so is Jamie. To me, it looks like Jamie's gaining a little ground on Jeff Bernard. But Jimmy Shane is up at the top end of the race course, and he's about to come out of the turn. He's going to extend his lead quite a bit over J. Michael Kelly.
All right, he is going way wide up at the top end, leaving plenty of room, looking for some nice clean water. Jimmy Shane, will come down. Oh, my goodness. Am I getting this correct? Apparently, Jimmy Shane in the U1 has jumped the start.
Well, if that's the
and that's why he got it before we did. That's why he went so wide up at the top end of the race course. He knows it. And now your teammate, J. Michael Kelly, in the U9 Boitano Homes, your leader on the water and your leader on the rule book, halfway up the backstretch. 2.5 laps in, 2.5 to go, Corey.
That's great news for that team. They worked real hard to get this boat ready. They've worked real hard all season. You've seen them nothing but backs in the air trying to get that boat faster and faster and faster. And here they are. Their hard work's about to pay off for them. Congratulations to them. They got to keep it clean. They got to keep going. You're still laps down, but there's still laps to go. But this is looking really good for the U9.
Here comes that U9, J. Michael Kelly. He has won here on Lake Washington before. He would love to do it again, this time for Darrell and Vanessa Strong. 3 laps are in the books with 2 to go. J. Michael Kelly driving the Boitano Homes. Got a big lead now. The next boat coming across is Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet. He is a lap down. Second place is going to go to Jeff Bernard driving a Goodman Real Estate. And here we are again. Third place right now, running on the water. Jamie Nielsen of the 11, the old Cannery Furniture Warehouse.
That's the old boat that could, you know. They keep coming and coming and coming, and they keep getting on the podium. So congratulations. They're just going to keep going. Unfortunately, Dave Villach back here, but this is great for the U9, the Boitano Homes, Links Healthcare Northway boat, and really happy for the Goodman boat. They're doing a great job, too. So let's get these guys around this race course and bring them home safe.
Here comes J. Michael Kelly. He will come down and pick up the white flag. 1 to go for J. Michael Kelly. You heard Corey saying it. He's just got to stay clean, keep the boat on the water, and he can claim victory on Lake Washington. Second place is going to go to Jeff Bernard, and the boats are spread out. We got a big lead for your teammate. Corey, what's going through his mind right now?
He's got to keep it together, you know, just make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. So he's got the lead. He's got plenty of space between him and Jeff. So it's just drive safe. You don't need to be going as fast as you have to. Just get the boat around the corner, stay away from the buoys, and bring that thing home to a victory.
Top end of the race course, the final lap. J. Michael Kelly driving the U9 Boitano Homes. He is at the apex. He's just got to negotiate the second half of that corner and bring the boat down across start finish line. The checkered flag flies. It is J. Michael Kelly, winner of the 2022 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. And that is a popular win here. A lot of folks hooting and hollering. J. Michael's got to feel terrific. Here comes second place, Jeff Bernard of the Goodman Real Estate. He will finish in second place. Third place, once again, going to go to Jamie Nielsen, the 11, the old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. If this stands and goes through tech inspection, Jamie Nielsen, 4 races this year, 4 third-place finishes on the podium.
So happy for them. That's great. That's good for Jamie. I mean, this is great for boat racing, seeing them how hard they work, and it's really paying off. So we'll see these guys come back around one more time, and we'll get to see the celebration on top of the boats as they bring them into the pits.
Absolutely. Coming down to pick up a white flag with 1 more lap to go is Dave Villach driving the Beacon Plumbing. And he is just going to methodically put his 6th lap into the book after incurring a 1-lap penalty for jumping the gun. He was across start finish before the clock struck 0. The same can be said for Jimmy Shane. I feel sorry for the young man up there in that HomeStreet boat. He had everybody covered, but he hit that line too early, and I'm sure he's just kicking himself in there.
He had him covered, and he was in a great spot. All his timing marks were perfect, you know, but he came across that line a little bit too fast, and that's a tough one. That's a real tough one because the race was his. He just had to burp the throttle or whatever, but tough luck for Jimmy Shane in that HomeStreet boat, but congratulations to the Boitano Home 9. That's great for them.
It'll be a big celebration here for them. Watch Mike. He's going to go around that white insurance marker. He's done it all weekend when he comes back. It's like his little mark to come back to the pit area. And you know, Corey, we got the message about Jimmy Shane jumping the clock pretty much as he came across to complete lap number 2. But just prior to that, he had gone way wide up at the top end of the race course. Clearly, he had already received the message.
Yeah, that's good sportsmanship on his behalf to slide out like that to make sure there's room. And we really like that for Jimmy. But I see Boitano right below me right here. I'd like to congratulate you on your victory. That's Daryl Strong, my owner, for the U9 and the U8. And I believe this is Boitano's first win, if I'm not sure. Well, congratulations to them. Congratulations for the support. And this is great for them.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this has been quite the victory tour for Daryl Strong. You've had a big part in that over the last year, starting with the Tri-Cities, actually starting all the way back in Guntersville last year. Mike is back to the dock. Mike is climbing out of the cockpit. You're going to get up on the air scoop? Of course he is. He stands on top of the cockpit. J. Michael Kelly, he's done this before. He knows the drill, but as you said, it never gets old.
It never gets old. It's great to see his dad there to give him a big hug after he gets off the boat. This is a family sport for them, and his family's all here. This is wonderful. What a great time.
And we must caution all of our viewers, everybody that's here, that was the racing on the water. The boats still have to go through technical inspection. There are 3 parameters that will be looked at. They are going to work very quickly to get the black boxes out of the first 3 finishers' boats so we can have answers and make sure that what we just saw is official. But on the water, it was J. Michael Kelly driving the U9, Boitano Homes, at least on the water. He is your victor here this weekend and will claim another championship on Lake Washington. Tough break for Jimmy Shane. I know he feels terrible,
yeah,
but that's racing.
Yeah, that's racing. He needs to keep his head up. I mean, he was flawless until then, but I mean, that's tough because he knows what speed he has, and he knows how hard his team worked, and they wanted to put a great show on for their sponsors, their team, and all that, but that's tough. But keep your head up, Jimmy. There's San Diego, and we look forward to seeing all these guys down there racing their boats, and hopefully down in San Diego you can get the win. I'm hoping it's the 9, but that's just me, you know.
And it's okay to be partial. We said that at the very beginning. You can be partial here to your team and your boat.
I just like to watch good boat racing.
I do too. That was good boat racing. We had some very good boat racing this weekend. And one thing I'm going to be very, very anxious to do when we sit down and the dust settles a little bit, put pen to paper, let's see where we are in national high points. Jimmy didn't have his best day here. 2 of the 3 heats did not work out his way. And in both cases, your team, the U9, Boitano Homes, was the recipient. So it'll be interesting to see how those numbers come out. We may be going down to San Diego very close one more time again. Slings are on the U9. They're going to pick it up and lift it out of the water. Corey, I'll tell you what. I know you want to be down there and be a part of your team. Why don't you cut out of here? We appreciated so much having you up here. Your insight was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you better, but also the fun we had up here. I learned a lot about boat racing. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is awesome. Corey Peabody, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, H1, for letting me do this, and it was a treat, and one day we'll do it again.
One day we will do it again, but I don't want to see you up here for a while.
It'll be a while.
Get out of here. I want to see you down there in your own boat.
I'm going to go celebrate with our team.
Go get it.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Corey Peabody, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to cut him loose and let him go down and hug his good old buddy, J. Michael Kelly, his owner, the sponsor, everything. He's going to go have some fun. Kay Brewer, maybe you can grab that headset there from Corey. Kay, you've been around racing forever. You know the ups and downs that can occur. Got to feel bad for Jimmy Shane on that one. He had the boat. He had everybody covered today, but you got to be legal.
Yeah, he had that boat speed. He did exactly what he did this morning. You remember this morning's heat. He started off, came back from the back of the pack, and brought it back around full speed, as you say, coming across that start-finish line. Unfortunately, one tick did it, brought him out one lap behind.
Yeah, that's a tough break. Boats coming out of the water. The Boitano Homes, our apparent winner, or at least our winner on the water, is up on the trailer, back where it belongs. You know the thrill of victory.
I do. I've been there a few times, and I've been on teams that have been there too. And it is so much fun to be able to root and cheer your teammates on. You know, J. Michael Kelly and I have been racing boats since we were 9 years old in the A stocks and J stock classes. And it's always fun to watch him year after year after year improve. His team has worked so hard this year to get him to this victory. And of course, we've talked about it already this weekend many, many times. To have the victory here in your hometown with all of your fans and friends, family, all right here to be able to cheer you on is the best way to win.
That is the best way to win. You've got all your family, friends, everybody. And as Corey was saying, most of these teams have local sponsorship that is here. And as we saw right down here, Boitano Homes sponsorship personnel were right below. This is the first time they have ever won here in Seattle. First time Boitano Homes, I believe, has won, period. So that's got to be a big thing for them. They've been involved in our sport for many, many years, many times here in Seattle. And to claim the victory on Lake Washington, something special on the sponsor side as well.
This is their first of many times we will see them, especially with J. Michael Kelly behind the wheel.
Well, he is a terrific guy to have behind the wheel. He's one of the best drivers on the planet. In fact, the 5 boats that are here are driven by 5 of the best drivers. I think we had number 6 sitting up here with us. That was Corey Peabody.
He's had an exceptional year this year. I unfortunately haven't been able to make most of the races this season, but I have been sitting at home watching the live stream on the H1 website, listening to you, Brad Lewis, of course, like I'm always listening to you. Listening to you just talk these boats up and watching him go to victory. Corey has done so well this year. I'm looking forward to his, as he said yesterday, secret squirrel repairs that they're going to be doing, and it's going to be a great 2023 season.
I thought maybe he could at least give me, yeah, we're working on a boat, we're making some progress, it's good. I got nothing.
You got nothing. You got pretty much radio silence.
I did. And that is the sign of a true racer. I'm not giving you anything, Luce. We're done. So anyway, that I thoroughly enjoyed working with Corey Peabody. He's terrific, but I truly also meant I don't ever want to see him up here again.
No, we want to see him back behind the wheel so that he can continue to have victories. It's been great to see. You know, the strong Daryl and Vanessa have done so much for this sport, sporting 2 boats out there. That is just, every time I see them, I give them a big hug and say thank you for everything that they've done, not only with the boats, but with the major sponsorship they've done throughout the season.
Second place finish in the Indiana Governor's Cup, the U91. Goodman Real Estate with Jeff Bernard drawing a blank on their finished position last week in the Tri-Cities, but here they are, second place again. That boat is very, very fast. Jeff could really handle it. And then in Guntersville, in Madison, in the Tri-Cities, in Seattle, every time we put the podium together and we put the number 3 boat up there, it's Chartreuse and Royal Blue. It is the U11, the old cannery furniture warehouse. Jamie Nielsen, consistency. He just keeps climbing up on that first step. One of these days, he's going to get to the top.
Well, you talked about being partial to certain boats, and you and I both know I'm slightly partial to that particular boat team. Whenever I'm over in the Cle Elum area, it's hard to miss it. Once you're in Cle Elum, look for their boat. They are always in the shop working, and that boat is always being worked on, doing new improvements. Scott and Shannon Rainey are constantly have their head in that boat, along with their great team.
Well, to that end, as I drove over on Thursday,
yes,
we took the back road. We drove by. We actually pulled in, took a picture of the house. Somebody was with me that hadn't seen it, wanted to see the homestead there, the new digs. And so we stopped at the spot there. I have been over there and visited the shop when they're working on it. And there's nobody here, certainly, that works any harder than the folks in the U11 camp, the old cannery furniture warehouse. They had a new sponsor on board this weekend. I hope they had a good weekend. I think they've got to be pretty happy with the 3rd place finish. Sure, you'd love to be on the top step, but you're on the podium, you're getting your name called out a whole bunch.
Yes, exactly. And we talk about that boat so often. It is a beautiful paint scheme on that boat. Great place to get pictures is right there with that bright, bright yellow.
So that's our story on the water. It was J. Michael Kelly coming home the victor on the water. Boats still have to go through tech inspection. Boats have to go through tech inspection, but our unofficial finish order is the U9 Boitano Homes with J. Michael Kelly. Second place to the U91, the Goodman Real Estate with Jeff Bernard. The 11, the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse with Jamie Nielsen in third place. Fourth place finish to the U1, the Miss HomeStreet and Jimmy Shane. And in fifth place, the U40, the Beacon Plumbing with Dave Vilwalk. I think at this time, Kay and Kim, we might as well begin to terminate our broadcast, and I'll go down and start talking to the H1 official, see if we can get this one official and in the book. But first of all, I could not do this without you. I could not do this without you, Kay. What you know with those outboards. I love listening to you talk about the outboards. You talk to me and you go, oh, Brad, I listen to what you say. I love to listen to you talk about the outboards. I don't know anything about them, except I've got a 15 horsepower Johnson that I fish with, and it's a great trolling motor. These weren't really trolling. They were running pretty hard. Thank you for taking time out from your busy day. I know you're a fan. You're going to be here anyway. But, Kay, thank you for coming down and helping with the 2022 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair broadcast.
It is my pleasure, and I just want to remind all of our fans, if you're listening, we will be at Angle Lake in SeaTac September 10th and 11th. We have a program called New Folks and Boats. Make sure you jump on your Facebook and contact us through Seattle Outboard Association. Brad Luce will have over 100 entries there that weekend, September 10th and 11th. Make sure you mark it on your calendar at Angle Lake and SeaTac.
I would like to come over and see that, because you actually kind of hooked me a little bit on these outboards here this weekend, and listening to you talk about it and the programs. They're terrific, and they're getting the young people involved in racing, and that, of course, is our future. That is what we need to do. But the present is right now. You are a part of this. Kay Brewer, thank you from the bottom of my heart, having you come down and help out.
Anytime. With you, Brad, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Kay Brewer. Now, to my right, I turn the other way, Kim Meredith. Wait a minute, there's somebody down here I haven't seen for a while. How are you, my friend? Wow, have to take time out and say hello. The man is in the house. He is in the house. Nicky B. Kim Meredith, I can't do this without you. I remember about 2 months ago, you sent me an email and said, hey, are you doing Seafair? And if you are, is it possible I might be part of it? Kim, I am not doing this without you. What you do is absolutely tremendous. Keep your ear on the radio. I'm still waiting for her these, because I'm not letting her off the hook just yet. I still want to know when these boats pass tech. Well, what does the check mark mean? They passed. You're telling me the U9 has passed tech inspection. You're telling me he not only won on the water, he won in the tech truck. Apparently, it's official.
It is official.
U9 Boitano Homes has cleared tech inspection, and this is what Kim Meredith does. Thank you. Now, keep your ear in there. I still want to know about the other. It also looks like second place, Jeff Bernard driving the Goodman Real Estate. It appears that they have also cleared tech inspection. But back to something at least equally important. Kim, what you do is outstanding. And I'm dead honest. I am not ever doing this without you. You are amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do. You make me look good, and that is a full-time job. My wife will attest to it. Kim Meredith, you are the best. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the public address portion of our 2022 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Our winner, the U9 Boitano Homes and J. Michael Kelly. He conquers Lake Washington one more time, and the big crowd is all around his boat. We're going to give him the big trophy up on the award stage coming up very soon. You are invited to come down and join in the celebration, and trust me, it will be a very, very good one. On behalf of Corey Peabody, Kay Brewer, and Kim Meredith, this is Brad Luce signing off and saying so long, everyone. Let's do it again next year, 2023 Seafair weekend. Good night, everybody.
You're hot, Jim. Thanks. We're gonna be here for a while. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna start cutting this stuff down. I'll start with your PL lines up top. Yeah, if you're done with something, just unhook it and I'll grab it. Safe to pull loose back. Yeah, everything's safe. We're done. Then we can just take this one when they move the table. We take it to the drop. Yeah. White check?
Paul Sylvie, you got me?
Is
it official, Paul Sylvie?
Yes, I don't know, Chris. I'm throwing it to you for those results. It is official. Yes, it is. Go
I've just
for it.
been told, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. J. Michael Kelly is your champion. So with that in mind, Ms. Seafair, would you please present the trophy? Ladies and gentlemen, J. Michael Kelly. We're going to speak with J. Michael in a sec. Dan, real quickly, though, what a magical 2 days here in Seattle. The sun's shining. Seafair is back. How special was this?
This is the best day. This is something we've been wanting for the last 3 years. Seafair is back. Eric Corning, our leader, thank you.
All right. I tell you what, this is pretty good stuff, isn't it?
It's awesome. Just to be back in Seattle racing again, I've missed it so much, and just these amazing fans. It's good to be back and see all of you. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. Just means the world, and thank you to Daryl and Vanessa, all my guys, Boitano Homes for coming on board. Just can't do it without these people, and of course all the guys behind me, Brian Haney, Trevor Hansen, Kit Brown, that's in my ear, doing my radios, Corey Peabody, my teammate, my wife, my parents. I mean, there's so many people that make this happen, and I'm just a lucky guy that gets to do it, and it just feels awesome.
All right, raise that trophy one more time for everybody out there. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. What a special day. There's your champion, Paul Sylvie. Let's send it back to you guys for some final thoughts.
Thank you, Chris. HomeStreet Bank Cup champion, J. Michael Kelly. And
They built it in the UK. They built it in the UK, and then they, I don't know how they got it over here, but they did. You ever see that video of the F&F? What's that? You see that video of an F&F truck?
Oh, the one with the fire? I got that video.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine worked for BSI at the time. He sent it to me while it was burning.
No way. I was like, oh.
I had just done a concert for Bush off that truck, like a couple weeks before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, wait, but that's not
That's the truck.
I went, that's not question mark.
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, it is.
Oh, my God. Is that what it was? I didn't know. These boxes right here are ready to pass me down to be right here. So what?
So that, this is the last
If there wasn't at
That's the last cake. Yeah. And then, I mean,
You got the word on the fiber across the road, we got a on that. You get the word on that. The word on the fiber across the road.
I took mine out right away.
Oh, okay. So there's
There's no fiber in this. But I do have a truck that's really close by my fiber, so he's putting away his grill. No, this one only goes to
And I'm not the one pushing, just so you know. I just know that when they open that boulevard, they want all that stuff gone.
Yep.
And I don't know when they're doing that. It's probably going to be 5 or 6.
Yeah, I told the lecturer where I am.